Gas prices climbing steadily toward $4 a gallon. But how high could they really go? A new Rasmussen survey finding 55% of Americans think that it is likely prices could reach $5 soon. And with the economy at the forefront of the presidential debate, what exactly does this mean for politics and your pocket? Justin Sayfie is a former spokesperson for Jeb Bush and publisher of SayfieReview.com, and Christy Setzer, president of New Heights Communications and a former spokesperson for Vermont Governor Howard Dean. And they both join us today with their insight. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to be here.
So we're talking about an average of $3.67 a gallon right now. Doug McElway said that was up 3 cents a gallon just from yesterday, 12 cents within the last week. So, what are these prices going to do in terms of the effect on President Obama and also the GOP contenders in the race for president? Justin, I'll start with you.
Well, I think it's a very big problem for President Obama, and we saw that in his weekly address to the American people this week. He talked about it, but what he didn't have in that plan, what he did do was to try to turn this into saying that the Republicans should be embarrassed because they're making a political issue out of this. And I find that really remarkable that he did that, and he put that in his remarks this week, because during his 2008 campaign, he used the issue of gas prices to help him get elected in some of his TV ads. So I found that very hypocritical of the president to say that. But, I understand it, because if you look at the actions he did this year by blocking the Keystone Pipeline and the Solyndra scandal that's going on, where he gave a loan to a company that was run by a lot of people who gave to his presidential campaign in 2008, I try to distract the American people as well as he's doing now.
And Christy, it is a political issue. It's an issue that is very important to the American people. There was one study said 7 in 10 Americans, they find the issue deeply important. So what is your take on how this will affect the president and the GOP contenders?
Well, let's put this in perspective. The economy is improving. President Obama's poll numbers are on the rise. And Republicans seem to be a party in search of an issue. So it's not surprising to me that they've latched on to high gas prices, as it seems to be sort of the only arrow left in their quiver. The problem is that the Republican solutions to lowering gas prices are actually just going to keep us even more hooked on big oil. And to put things in perspective, gas prices now are actually lower than when George Bush left office.
Well, when George Bush left office, there was a time when it reached $4 a gallon. We're definitely headed in that direction. But also some say, and actually on Cavuto's show, he had someone speaking to this, that the way the media deals with the rising gas prices is drastically different in how they deal with President Obama and how they dealt with George Bush. Right, Justin?
Well, yes, I think so. I think that's true. But I'm glad that the media is focusing on it. It should be focusing on it, because people who are paying $3.50 or $4 a gallon or maybe $5 a gallon, that has a drag on the economy. And it's worth asking our leader of the United States, President Obama, what has he done about it? What is he doing about it? And he has no answers. He hasn't said one thing that he's doing to bring down gas prices in our country immediately. That's going to be a drag on the economy. It hurts jobs, and we deserve to know.
Yeah, for every 1 cent increase in the price of gasoline, it costs the economy $1.4 billion. So, Christy, this is not a non-issue or a Republican issue.
Well, what I would like to talk about is what the Republican solution to this problem has been, and it's amounted to drill, baby, drill. The problem is that oil production is not the issue. Oil production is actually higher than it's been in years, and big oil is still charging people whatever they would like. And yet in Congress, we are still giving big oil companies billions of dollars in corporate subsidies at taxpayer expense. So that's something that Republicans would like to continue to protect, the corporate subsidies, and Democrats would like to end. So I think that most Americans would agree that giving more money and more power to big oil is not the way to end these problems.
But oil production at record highs, Christy, due in fact to a lot of policies that were put in place way before President Obama took office, but yet he is taking credit. Justin?
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised that he's taking credit for it. But look, We have enormous resources in our country, enormous energy resources in our country. President Obama needs to do more to help Americans and American companies tap more of our natural resources that we have here in our country to get energy so we're less dependent. I would like to see President Obama do more, and I think he should revisit his decision on the Keystone pipeline so we can get oil from our neighbor to the north, our friendly neighbor to the north, Canada.
Yeah, and also
Again,
add a lot
oil
of jobs
production is
with
not the
it.
issues.
Christy, also add a lot of jobs with it if we were to say yes to that.
Well, studies by big oil companies have said that it would create jobs. That's not what independent studies have shown.
All right. Thank you both so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Justin Sayfie, Christy Setzer, thank you for your insight as always.
Thanks for having me.